The Orioles continue to recognize community heroes, and today we are joined by the Gorman family, Steve and Jim. Community heroes because of what they are attempting to do. Now, Steve Gorman, the very talented drummer of the Black Crowes. Jim Gorman made history back in the 70s playing basketball at Morgan State University. Now, Steve, today it's a family reunion, 30-plus lifelong Oriole fans. Baseball very important to your family, isn't it?
It absolutely is, and especially Jim and I, one of the first things, we grew up 9 years apart, and the Orioles were about the only thing we had in common for a lot of those years. And my first game to Memorial Stadium, where I learned how to duck under an usher's gaze and get a better seat, was all under the tutelage of this man right here. So special things like that, how to get on camera during a game, you know, all the tips. But no, we grew up bonding over the Orioles, and then my family, the younger group of us, moved to Kentucky when I was 10 years old. And for years, Jim was already at Morgan back then, and he would still go down to Memorial Stadium all the time. And I spent years in Kentucky. Anytime the O's were on national TV, which wasn't that often back in the day, we'd always get the call, okay, be sure to be looking for me. And Jim would always find a camera, and that was sort of a way we always stayed connected in an odd way, always through the Orioles.
Now, Jim, you do have a knack of getting on camera. Now, I understand the 1979 World Series, not only the Orioles were on camera, but you were very prominent on the field.
71.
71. Oh, you go back even further. How about that? 71 and 79.
Yeah, I was on in 70 against Cincinnati, but 71 to Pittsburgh. That was a big game. I got in the locker room, so hat off one of the players, Pittsburgh, not the Orioles, and got in the locker room until he got thrown out.
He made him in 70. He was with the Orioles celebrating. 71. Got Dave Cash's hat from the Pirates right off his head, and then made his way into the Pirates locker room. And you can see that it was carried on TV, and you see this 15-year-old run in. And if I'm not mistaken, he was asked, "Who are you?" And Jim said, "I'm the owner's son." And someone said, "What's the owner's name?" And he said, "Well, I call him Dad." And they spun him right around and bounced him. So
didn't work.
That didn't fly.
Now, as part of your family reunion here today, Jim is battling multiple system atrophy. Now tell us about the struggles and the battles and why today is so important for your family.
Yeah, MSA it's a neurodegenerative disease, and in Jim's case, there was 5 or 6 years of symptoms and tests and trying to figure out what was going on, as various parts of just day-to-day function were becoming more and more difficult. And a little over 2 years ago, I guess, is when the diagnosis came in officially. This was MSA. It's a really, really rare disease, and the main thing that we're trying to accomplish today, and something I did a lot on my radio show during March, is just to raise awareness of multiple system atrophy, what it is, and how, if possible, we can help raise some money that funds research. And that all goes through the MSA Coalition, which is a really great group. And you know, step one, when you have a disease that's so rare, it's just to let people know that it's there. Let people know that it's affecting members of their community, and that it's something that we're doing our best to educate people on, and then, as I said, hopefully raise awareness, and then some donations, all of which goes to research.
And Jim, I guess at this stage, as Steve mentions, the awareness is very critical so people understand what this is and what it's all about.
It is, yes. I'm really happy that he's doing this, and MSA is a infectious feature balance, and it's a neurodegenerative disease, so it gets worse over time. But I've got my whole immediate family here, and my brothers and sisters as well. And so it's been, you know, it's great for me. Tied the Orioles into it till the great.
Now, Steve, as lifelong Oriole fans, having the connection with the ball club, that has to be very special for you. And I know the Angelos family is backing this as well. And again, not only the financial donations are critical because it goes to research, but the more people find out about things like this, that really does lead to help, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely, in every way. And you know, we've already the MSA Coalition, I mean, every year for the last 5 years, I think they've more than doubled every year the amount of money they've been able to raise. And it's really at the point now where the message is getting out on a really steady basis. And again, this is a disease that's often misdiagnosed as Parkinson's initially, or any number of other neurodegenerative diseases. So honing in on this one, it is key, and early diagnosis is key so that it can be treated along the way. And as you referenced, the Angeles family and the club has really extended themselves, and we're eternally grateful for that.
And I think it's important to point out that this really was a grassroots thing, right, when you started it, and every dollar that is donated goes right to the cause. There's no overhead. This is all about trying to find a cure.
This is exactly what that is. The research is invaluable.
For more information, visit multiplesystemsatrophy.org. The missions of MSA Coalition: support for patients and caregivers, the education of MSA, plus financing research towards a cause and a cure, and promoting greater awareness. Now, the support hotline number is 866-737-5999. That's 866-737-5999.